Number 3, what's the most valuable investment advice you've ever received, Miriam?
Well, on that note, probably the best advice is it's always worthwhile engaging the right expert for the right advice.
That's a good segue.
It's about risk mitigation and maximising your investment opportunity. And look, life is such that you get what you pay for. And what I say to people, unfortunately, I call them fake buyer agents. They're out there, they're desperate for work, they've given up their job, or they've invested and wasted money in this course. They want to get their 10 grand back. They've been told get a deal and then you can start, growing your business from there. And so they're slashing prices, but at the end of the day, you get what you pay for. So price is what you pay. Cost is the consequence, good or bad, of that advice or the service that you receive. So I can absolutely guarantee when people make the decision to go with a cheap advocate, they will be on the receiving end of appalling advice that they will pay for multiple times over down the track, and they won't even know it until it's too late.
Okay, what is the price range? I had a friend quoted recently at $27,000, which I was a bit surprised at. I thought it was about 15. What's a cheap price range for a buyer's agent? What's mid-range? What's high range?
Yeah, look, I think different buyer agents work differently. Some charge fixed fees, some charge percentages. There's no one way to do it. And a little bit like on the sales side, selling agents have fees depending on the state you're in. I mean, in WA, they charge 4% for a selling agent fee. In Victoria, it's probably close to around the 2% mark. So the same thing applies on the advocacy side, and there are different levels of service as well. So an advocate can do a full process for you. They can just do an assess and negotiate you find the property. I would suggest find the advocate you're interested in working with. They'll talk to you about what they can offer you and they'll talk about prices. But remember, it's not so much the price you pay, but the value delivery. So I can demonstrate time and time again, regardless of the price that I pay, that I can absolutely deliver value in either savings or negotiation on the price or making sure it's a high-performing asset or getting it off market with no competition so they get that particular asset. So people should really not focus on price. They should focus on value delivery, expertise, and remember, you get what you pay for. You're not going to get someone like me for peanuts because some clown down the road with actually no experience is charging half the price. And if you're fool enough to want to go with them, well, then suffer the consequences and don't complain about it when it turns to shit.
Say what you really mean, Miriam.
All
right. One thing that's always shat me, though, I've got to be honest with you. I think it's the same with buyer's agency, but when a real estate agent quotes 2% on $1 million property, right, and they quote 2% on a $2 million property, how on earth is there $20,000 difference in value that I'm going to receive on a $2 million property that I'm selling as opposed to a $1 million property?
Look, I think what you need to realise, because I do vendor advocacy as well, so I'm not selling property, but I've dealt with 2,000 agents, certainly as an advocate in the last decade. I've seen the good, the bad and the ugly. There's plenty of ugly, there's a lot of bad. And when it comes to the good, they're the ones with the skill set who absolutely will make a difference at auction. And whether you're paying them 2% on 2 mil or 1 mil becomes irrelevant. It's the results that they will generate and how they work on the day that will generate the extra revenue for the client. And in some instances, when I do vendor advocacy for clients, so they want to sell but they don't know which agent to use, the agents that I recommend are the ones where if you've got one buyer and one person interested, you need an agent who absolutely knows how to deal with that buyer and how to get it over the line. So you're paying for expertise that's built up over years and decades. It's like any profession.
I know that. I get that. But I'm still thinking, if I'm paying someone $20,000 on a $2 million property, they're still going to do the same. They're still going to give me the same. They still want that 20 grand, right?
Yeah, but the thing is, you're talking about a different property in a different market with different clientele and different considerations around it. You're not comparing an apple with an apple, because you've got very different caliber property. What I can tell you is the cheaper properties are the ones that are harder to sell. Someone with a $300,000 lemon that they've bought that they've had for 14 years that has not grown in value and is what we call a C-grade property is an absolute nightmare for an agent. And so if you bought a problem and you bought a lemon, don't expect an agent to be giving you some cheap fee because it's going to be damn hard work and it may take a very long time.
Which is why I think that the scale of the bottom should be higher. It should be like 4% of the bottom and 1% when you get to the 2 million.
Well, it doesn't even have to be a percentage. Like I know, for example, when I helped a client try and get rid of this lemon that they bought, because all they're doing is paying a mortgage and getting nothing out of it, the agent said my minimum fee is 10 grand, which let's call it roughly 3%. It's like, well, fair enough, because he's not going to put all that effort in to get 2% on a $300,000 property and then half of it goes to the agency. So I think people need to take a step back from the percentage thing. And it's like in the stock market, you know, if a stockbroker buys you $1 million worth of shares versus $2 million worth of shares, I don't think they necessarily change their fee.
No, they do.
Oh, do they? Okay, well, then I'm naive because I don't do shares.
The rate goes down, the higher the value.
But there are agents who do that. There are agents who will drop their fee for a higher price point, particularly as you're getting to your 3, 4, 5 mil, that kind of stuff. But again, don't focus on a fee that you're not going to have to pay if you've got a crap agent who won't get you the result. Like, that's just really short-sighted.